What's up, guys? Today we're gonna have some fun. All right. Today we're gonna look at some Disney stuff. Now, if you're not the biggest fan of Disney, just bear with me here. You're actually gonna like this, I think, even if you're not a fan of Disney, because I found this thing really fucking funny. I said fuck already, but hey, you know what? Screw it. We're having fun today. Okay, so to start off with, you may not like Disney, and that's completely fine, but you may have already gone to Disney World, even if you don't like Disney that much. And you gotta admit, Disney World, it's a pretty fun place to go, right? Take the family, go with some friends, have some fun, ride some rides, buy like a $200 lightsaber. You know, if you're into that thing, I've seen people spend money on that. And hey, if you have the income for it, go for it. That's your money. You spend it how you want to do that. But something that's a part of these parks is that there are usually people who are wearing costumes and they're acting as their characters. And honestly, let's just kind of get into the meat of it. I'm going to show you this clip later too, but after we look at some context. But to start off with, let's just go ahead and see what this is all about. It's also important to say too that sometimes these characters that are up like on the field looking at people and helping people out, they don't usually get paid that much either. So just keep that in mind while we watch this, all right? All right, so we're going to watch this clip first, all right? Let's get into it.
Out! Leave! 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 Yep, you're done. Okay. There's children.
All right, now let's kind of get into that real quick, all right? So you could hear that at the very end, he was like, "There's children," and a lot of people like when I saw this video, if you look at the comments, a lot of people were kind of like split about, hey, did he do something right or did he do something wrong? And half the people were like, hey, she didn't do anything wrong, right? Because like he didn't need to be that rude and kick her off. But today we're gonna explore whether or not what he did was okay for his like job position. You know, if he's there, does he need to take this woman's shit? Essentially, does he need to get groped? Is that fine? Now, of course, there's the argument of, oh, if it was switched, of course it would be bad. That's obvious. All right, let's just get that out of the way. All right, that's gone. Right now, we're focusing on this situation in particular. So one thing that you guys may have actually heard yourselves, like a whole bunch of times, but maybe you didn't research it at all, is that a lot of these character actors, like they will always have to be in character. Like there's supposed to be nothing that's supposed to like get them out of character. And in that way, they're almost like the guard for the queen and the king in Europe, right? In London, of course. London is in Europe, so I'm kind of halfway there. You know, so this one. Geography aside, so they have to be as like stern as these bodyguards of the king and queen in England, right? And I find that like a good comparison to what they have to kind of go through. And honestly, like if you go through like these different websites, right, you look them up, you always find this. So like one example is always represent the magic of Disney. All the hoops that Disney cast members have to jump through are designed to ensure that they are representing the magic of Disney at all times. To make guests feel like they stepped into a fantastical place where the problems of the real world don't exist, cast members can't act like regular people. This means that they must always be on their best behavior. All right? And there's absolutely no slouching permitted in costume, nor can cast members chew gum or be seen eating or drinking. Their customer service skills must always be top notch, even when they don't feel like it. So, you know, let's just go to the next website. You can see here, staying in character is a must. Like another example, they state over here, cast members who played a beloved Disney character work super hard to keep the magic alive for guests. One key rule for characters is that they must stay completely true to their character at all times on shift. Their personality, mannerisms, and everything they say must make sense to people who would know the character from the movie or TV show. For instance, Ariel should be making a lot of references to the ocean, and Maleficent, the villain from Sleeping Beauty, should act mean. And going to the next one, we have here, unfortunately, this one is from an Insider article where this person actually worked there as a character actor. And you can see here that they state, unfortunately, it felt like the role of my dreams would be snatched away as quickly as it was given at any moment if I became disapproved in my character. And this is kind of like a little bit of a different one where it's like, hey, you see that they state right here, the most common fear for cast members was getting called into a meeting for a silhouette issue meaning someone at Disney had a problem with your weight, or perhaps more accurately, how they perceived it. So it's even just little things, like you can't even have like a different body type here, right? So they're really, really into it. Another one. If the guests can see you, you're technically on stage. The term on stage and backstage don't just apply to performers at Walt Disney. Even just being in stores, they called that on stage, Melendi said. If you're in the computer room or back office, that's backstage. So you can see, like, when you're out there, you have to be committed to your position. You can't act out of the ordinary. And so now that we know that, let's kind of get into who the heck that guy was playing. That guy, in the video, if we go back here, bam, you can see that he's actually playing Gaston. So Gaston is from the Disney movie Beauty and the Beast, right? He's like the main antagonist of it. And he's like the kind of sexy, hunky guy that everyone kind of still wants to fuck, even though he's a little bit evil. And I have to admit too, I'm like, listen, I'm not gay, but like, listen, do you see him, man? Like, you can't blame me for that. All right, you gotta give credit where credit is due. All right, so let's go look at who Gaston is. So let's start with the actual Disney wiki. So you can see that they say here, Gaston is the main antagonist of Disney's 1981 animated feature film Beauty and the Beast. He was an arrogant and chauvinistic hunter who was greedily determined to have Belle's hand in marriage, even by force if necessary. His obsession turned him into a ruthless and traitorous villain, especially upon his discovery that Belle's love was not for him, but for a beast. That's right. So he was like, man. Do I look like Gaston here, guys? Damn, I kind of do. Here, let me do. Yeah, I look like Gaston. I did pretty good there. Thanks, guys. My ego is just a little bit higher. Thanks for that. Coming back to the thing. So we can see that Gaston's the bad guy, right? So he's probably going to act like a bad guy. And in fact, if we go to like this clip from Beauty and the Beast, so I'm going to turn the volume all the way off, and we're just going to kind of like slip through this without trying to trigger YouTube's copyright system. That would be great. So let's kind of go through this right here. So you can see that this guy right here, he has like a cup of beer right here, a little mug of mead, one might say, mead mug. And let's just go ahead and play it. All right, so pay attention to this guy, right? Let's see real quick. Bam. Oh, there you go. Okay, see, he just disrespected the hell out of this dude. He threw his mead in his face. In his face. Absolute disrespect, all right? You don't take shit like that if you're Gaston. If you're Gaston, then you are throwing hands. And in fact, let's just go ahead and see. He's like, he's rolling up the sleeves even though they're already rolled up. Like, Tyler one. That's what he's doing right here. Look at that. Boom! He beats his ass. And he beats up the rest of the motherfuckers out here too. So you can see here, when he's disrespected, he takes action. He fights. He makes sure everyone knows he's the top G, the motherfucker on the top. All right, and let's skip through this here. You can see over here too. Let's go back a little bit. So you can see here, he's even in front of these girls right here. Right, he's lifting up the bench. He's like, yeah. He's showing off. He's like brawny and shit. And after he got made fun of, he's like, yo, yo, yo. Look, he's doing the thing. He even carelessly drops the women. All right. So man, woman, he does not give half a shit. All right, he will throw them. He will do whatever he wants with them. All right, and so now that we've seen this context, so now that we see that this is who Gaston really is, right? Whenever he gets shit thrown at him, he throws shit right back. So let's go back to the video and analyze it here. All right, so we can see here. Let's see what happens. So initially, she starts grubbing him, right? Look, immediately he gets uncomfortable. So remember, Disney characters, these character actors right here, they always have to stay in character. And even when he's telling her to back off, you can hear that he's using his Gaston voice.
Now!
You're done. Now! Now! That's the Gaston voice right there. So you can see he didn't take shit. All right? Just like the real Gaston does, right? And let's see. And she's like, she thinks it's a joke. That's understandable.
You're done.
You can see. So let's even hear him at the end. Okay, there wasn't children in the bar. We can't fully like kind of get into that, but we can assume that even though he's a dick, he probably wouldn't be doing such rude shit, not rude shit, but like lewd shit in front of children. All right, let's give him the benefit of the doubt here. But you can see here, he forces her to leave. He's like, no, listen, back off. Just like when the guy threw the mead in his face. All right, he was like, ultimate disrespect. Right now, she's ultimately disrespecting him. And you can see he just tells her to go now. And because she's a woman, he's probably not beating her up. And if it was a man doing it, if he wanted to really stay in character, he'd probably beat his ass. All right, to be fair. But you can see he just doesn't take shit. All right, so that's why when we look at this, we have to consider, hey, he was in character. Not to mention, he's doing a minimum wage job, most likely. But he's doing something he probably at least enjoys, right? Like, he probably actually enjoys doing this because it's a grueling job. Let's be real. We saw, like, the requirements of it. It's absolutely grueling. And when people are just like that to him, and when these guys, they have to, like, deal with something like that, it's just a big load on them, right? It's like, come on, man. We're just trying to make the kids have fun, make sure that everyone's happy. I want to play Gaston, right? And it's a rough world out there. And whenever these people come up, they don't need to take that shit. And Gaston, he acted as he would in character, essentially. And I think he did everything right. He just told her to leave me alone. There's kids around here. Don't do that shit. Thank you. All right. So he's just like, he's playing as Gaston. So in my opinion here, I don't think he did anything wrong. He was getting her out of his way. He just wanted to go back to do his job, earn his bank, have some fun, be Gaston. And that's pretty much about it. I want to just defend Gaston here. We appreciate this guy. He's doing the Lord's work out here, being such a pretty boy, right? And yeah, essentially that's all we had to it. And so let me know what you guys think. Like, was she in the right? Was he in the wrong? Was he in the right? Like, I showed you some evidence about why he's probably in the right. But if you guys have like a differing opinion, completely go ahead. It's fine. Just write it down in the comments and we'll have a little discussion about it. Civil discussion. Remember, civil. Civil is a key word. But yeah, if you guys liked what you saw, drop a like. If you disliked it, drop a dislike. And drop a subscription too while you're at it, alright? And I hope you guys have a nice day. And I'm going to go finish watching some Zatch Bell.